taking this criteria to show that. Okay, so how many constraints I have used? 3 constraints. One is PID, which is given as primary key, PNAME, which is taken as not null, and age, which is taken as check constraint. Use a defined constraint to check that if the person is greater than 3 years or not. Okay. So next,
Address.
address. Okay. Sorry. And I will give it as unique. Okay. So this is my table. Students, so far we have created the tables using only one constraint, that is primary key. Okay. Now I am discussing about the all other constraints. Since we have seen, right, that we have foreign key constraint, primary key constraint, not null, check constraint, and unique. All these are constraints, right? Nullable constraint means simply you will give there, instead of not null, you will give null. That's all. Okay. And when you give a constraint as null, it will accept null values. Am I clear? Am I clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I give describe passenger, what I'll get? I'll get the structure of the table. Okay. So here
Ma'am,
you
here age నెంబర్ అని ఉంది కదా మ్యామ్. మనం అక్కడ క్యారెక్టర్ ఒకవేళ ONE1 అట్లా ఇస్తే క్యారెక్టర్ టైం
అప్పుడు అది యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయ క్యారెక్టర్ అని మీరు డిక్లేర్ చేసుకుంటే అప్పుడు అలా ఇవ్వచ్చు. కానీ ఎవరైనా సరే ఏజ్ ని ONE1 TWEL అని ఇస్తారమ్మా.
మ్యామ్ అడుగుతారు కదా మ్యామ్ అప్లికేషన్ లో.
We are talking about the passenger here, right? Okay, I understood your question. If you want to give that as an character, you need to declare it as character type. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you describe this passenger table, describe is a command to show the format of your table. Okay. So PID is declared as a primary key. So we know that primary key is a combination of unique plus not null. So in the null column, what it will be that it is not null, right? And the PNAME, that is the passenger name, we have declared the constraint as not null. So in the null field, you have, you have the criteria like not null. So when you talk about age and address, values and check the constraints. Okay, so what is the syntax? Insert into passenger values. So what is the first value we have taken? PID, right? So for example, I give 10101 is the PID and PNAME, right? So PNAME, which constraint we have taken? Not null constraint, right? Okay. I'll give some name as say Srinivas. Okay. And what is the other column I have given? PID.
Age.
After name I have given age or address?
Yes, ma'am.
Address.
Age after address.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So age I'll give say 34. Okay. And then address. In short, I'm writing Hyderabad, for example. Unknown command begin. I gave the spelling is wrong. So one row is created.
Ma'am, doubt, ma'am.
Japan.
Ma'am, we cannot give address as unique, no, ma'am. It may match with other passengers, no, ma'am. I mean, family members.
Yeah, it might match. So if you give the entire address like city, street, pin code, and all entire thing, it will not match, right?
Ma'am, it will also match, no, ma'am. I mean, the 4 members as they are living in one house means everyone has same address, no, ma'am.
Practically, it can't be unique. Okay. So here I am taking it as a unique address just to explain you about the unique constraint. Am I clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So PID I have given as the primary key column, PName I have given as not null, age I have applied some check constraint, and address I have taken as unique. That's what? Address is taken as not null or unique?
Unique.
Okay. Address is unique. Okay. PName is not null. Okay. Now I will try to insert one more record. And this time I will say the name. We already know about primary key column, right? So I'm not explaining about that. If I take here null. So what happened?
It will
Cannot
not take.
null into system.passenger.pname. Why? Why? Because we have declared that particular column as not null, right? Just a second. Okay. So what we have done here? So we are trying to insert a null value into a column which is declared with the constraint as not null. So there is a constraint violation. It cannot insert null into this particular column value. Okay. So similarly, I want to check with the other constraint. Okay. So now I will give some value over here. And it will give the age as 4. What happens?
Error, ma'am. You are not changed ID, ma'am. Primary key is same.
And what is the other error?
Age, check constant.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened? Unique constraint violated. Why? Raj. Raj, what I have given? Not null. Huh? Okay. Unique constraint means this address, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So unique constraint got violated. So let me change that also and check whether check constraint is working or not. Not working.
Greater than 3.
Entama?
Mom, you put greater than 3 instead of 30.
Okay. I'll give to. No. So check constraint violator. So okay, I mean when we go to airlines, if a passenger is a child or an infant, they don't have fee. I mean fare, right? So only if they cross 3 years, they'll be having. They have to give the full fare for the flight. Okay, so that is why I have kept the constraint as if age greater than 3, then you'll have a ticket for that. So I gave that constraint in age time. Okay. So, and I'm trying to insert 4. 4 is greater than 3, so the row got created. So what is the criteria? It should be I mean, if you want to check about the check constraint, if you give a less age than 3, then the check constraint is violated. Can you see there? Is that clear, Ma?
Yes.
Okay. So did you understand the concept now? What is check constraint? What is primary key constraint? What is not null and unique? Understood, everybody? If you have any doubts, you can ask me, ma'am. Understood with these constraints?
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
important. Okay. So let us quickly cover the topics now. Okay, so that is about the user-defined constraints. That is, user-defined constraint can be done by using the check constraint or any other code. Okay, coming to integrity constraints now. Okay, so integrity constraints are nothing but the rules. Okay, they are set of rules in order to maintain the quality of the data stored in the database, or I can say to maintain the quality of information. Okay, so integrity constraints ensure that data insertion, updating, and other processes have to be performed in a way that data integrity is not affected. Okay, so whenever you are applying these kind of rules, you should ensure that the data integrity, means the row integrity, column integrity, differential integrity is not affected while applying this. Okay, so integrity constraint is all talking about the values here. Okay, so integrity constraints ensure that data insertion, updating, and other process are not affected in such a way that data integrity is not affected. Okay, so it is used to guard against accidental damage to the database. So that is about integrity constraints. So you feel like the data constraints, sorry, the data integrity and integrity constraints are the same. You feel that, but there is a slight difference between them. So when you talk about data integrity, it is about the structure there. So you're saying every row should contain a key column. Means there, for every table, there should be a unique identifier. That is the primary key column. And when you talk about column integrity, what you're saying, it should adhere to the properties of the format and the definition that you specify. Okay. And differential integrity means foreign key, primary key relation should be present. User defined means check constant. So here, integrity constraints are nothing but a set of rules, and while applying these constraints, you should ensure that the data integrity is not affected. Am I clear, ma? So in integrity constraints, you have different types like domain constraints, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint, and key constraint. Okay. So here I have one important point I want to say with respect to your descriptive questions. If you get a question, you will get this one. What is that? What do you mean by integrity constraint? Among these two topics, that is data integrity and integrity constraint, this is an important topic. Okay. So in integrity constraint, you have four types. What is it? Domain constraint, entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint, and key constraint. Okay. So it will be the same, but we are talking here with respect to values. Okay. So domain constraints. Domain constraints can be defined as a definition of valid set of values for an attribute. So if you take ID, column, name, or semester, or age, what is the data type given for each and every column? So what is the valid set of values that can be taken for these columns? That only you have to give. So see here, for example, in age field, all are numbers, but the last field, which is having the ID 1004, is given as A. So A is a character, but here it is declared as integer. So this is an error. Okay. So the data type of domain includes string, character, integer, time, date, currency, etc. The value of the attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. Means within the range of these data type, the value should be available. So other than this, you cannot take this, and if you define it as with some data type, you cannot take any other data type value for that. Clear, right? Students, are you clear about domain constraints? We have heard about this domain, right? B5 students, any doubts?
మేము ఒకసారి చెప్పండి.
So next is entity integrity constraints. The entity integrity constraints state that primary key value cannot be null. Again, the same thing, right? So here entity integrity, what is it saying? It says that the primary key column cannot be null. We know that, right? So primary key cannot take any null value. It can take only unique values and not null values, but it cannot take any null values. Okay. So this is because the primary key value is used to identify individual rows in the relation, and if it has a null value, then we can't identify those rows. Ante kada. So by using this unique column, you are identifying the entire row. So if it is given as a null value, can you identify the row? We cannot, right? So that is the one reason why we cannot include the null values into the primary key column. Okay, ma? So entity integrity constraints means the primary key column cannot take any null value. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So next is referential integrity constraints. So referential integrity constraint is specified between two tables. Okay. We know this. I have explained you, right? In the referential integrity constraint, if a foreign key in table 1 refers to the primary key of table 2, then every value of foreign key in table 1 must be there in table 2. Okay. Just a second. Yeah. So see here. You have the employee table and you have the department table. So what is the master table here? What is the master
Table 2.
Table 2. That is the department table is the master table. Here table 1 is the child table. So whatever values are present in the master table should be present in the, it's not like whatever values are present in the child table should be present in the master table. Ante kadamma. You cannot take these 11, 24, 18, 13 are there. You cannot take 18. Why?
It is not there in master table.
It is not there in master table. But the other way around is possible, right? What is the other way around? You can take any value in the master table, yes or no? Are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, this table is our master table. So you need to insert the rows in the master table first. Okay. So you have taken as 11, 24, 13. So compulsory within these numbers only, it should be present in the child table. If it is trying to take any other value which is not there in the master table, there is a violation of the foreign key constraint. Okay. But the other way around means you can take any values here, right? You can take 18, you can take 24, you can take anything because it is a master table. It accepts. But the child table is completely dependent upon the master table. So whatever values are present in the master table, within that only you can take in the child table as the foreign key value. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma? So the main difference is integrity constraint is nothing but set of rules. It talks about set of rules. Okay. So next is key constraints. So key constraint are the entity set that is used to identify an entity within its entity set uniquely. An entity set can have multiple keys, but out of which one key will be the primary key. You know this key column or key constraint means the ID column. Okay, you cannot take any duplicated value in the key column. Clear, ma? So a key constraint is a statement that a certain minimal subset of the fields of a relation is unique identifier for a tuple. Okay, so it's talking that key constraint is nothing but a value which is unique. Okay, and it is taken as a primary key value in the table. Sorry for the disturbance. So the types of key constraints. What are all the key constraints? Are primary key, unique key, foreign key, not null, and check. So everybody clear with all these constraints, ma? Yes or no? Did you understand the concept regarding what is primary key, unique key, foreign key, not null, and check?
Yes, ma'am.
B5 students, girls, can you respond? Girls, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? Any doubts? Please respond, guys.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So these are the examples which are taken. So I have shown you practically, right? So similarly, these are few examples. So can you tell me what is this table talking about? What is this table specifying, ma'am? Anybody from the class?
It was creating a table employee.
Hmm? How many fields are there? So you have employee ID,
Employee name,
which is
Aadhaar.
taken
Five.
character 9, not null, and taken as primary key. Okay, means it should be unique. You cannot give duplicated value. So character, they have taken 9 means, say they are assuming this as a social security number, which is a combination of numbers and characters. Okay, so it is not null and it is a primary key. Next, they are taking the next field name as employee name with varchar, variable character of 40 length, and it is not null. Okay, the next is address, employee street address, varchar 20, not null. So what do you mean by not null for this street address?
We should not give empty.
Yeah, you should not take any null values. Okay. So similarly, city address, city, varchar, not null. Employee state character, not null. And zip, integer, not null. Phone number, integer, null. It means it can accept null value. Suppose if a person don't want to specify his phone number, okay, then in that case you should allow this column to take null values. So they have given the constraint as null. Okay. So similarly, EMP pager, there is nothing but email, right? Integer of 10 can take null. Okay. So this is one example how to create the table by using the primary key constraint. So similarly, you have this unique constraint. So for which column is the unique constraint applied in this example?
Phone, ma'am. Phone number.
Right? You can clearly see how many constraints are applied for the phone number here. 2 constraints. One is null constraint, it can accept null values, and unique constraint means it cannot accept any duplicated values. Are you following, ma? As I told you, the examples how to create the table using constraints, it is the same thing, but for each and every column, they have mentioned one constraint. ID as not null, primary key, name as not null, address as not null. Address variations is all, right? Like street address, city address, state address, and then zip code. Okay, not null. Phone number, null and unique. Pager, null. So this is one example where they have applied the unique constraint. So when I take unique, it means that I cannot take any duplicated values for phone. Okay, understanding, guys? Students, are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have any doubt, you can ask, no worries, I will explain. So next, foreign key, create table employee, payable table. So ID not null, position not null, hire date. So it is a date data type. So in Oracle, you have date data type. So based upon the format, it is going to take the date format like MMDD5. Okay, and it is null. Pay rate number with this column width. So it is not null. Date last raise means when till which date it was raised. It is again date data type. So they have taken the data type as date and constraint as null. Okay, ma? So not null constraint and check constraints here. Okay. So see here, these are all not null here. And coming to the primary key is employee ID here. So since they have not specified as primary key at the column level, they specified at the table level. Okay. So where this is called as table level constraint. When you specify at the table level, column pakkane meeru constraint specify cheste column level constraint antaru. అదే కానీ టేబుల్ ఎండింగ్ లో స్పెసిఫై చేశారు సెపరేట్ గా అంటే దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ as టేబుల్ లెవెల్ కన్స్ట్రైంట్. రిమెంబర్ దట్. ఓకే, you can do like this or you can simply write here primary key. Both are correct. Okay, constraint, this is also again a table level constraint. What is that? Constraint check emp underscore zip. This is the constraint name. Check is the constraint type, and then zip code should be equivalent to 46234. Understanding? So these two, whatever you can see here, these two are what? Table level constraints. One constraint is applied for the column called employee ID, and the other constraint is applied for the employee zip code. Here you can also specify the constraint name at table level by using the keyword constraint, constraint name. The name can be anything, you can write here, and then the constraint type, that is check, and employee zip is equal to 46234. Clear, students? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay. So next is querying relational data. So here this is where we are going to see how we are going to convert the ER diagram into respective relational model. Okay, which is a step of logical database design. ER models to relational schema. So this we'll see in the next class. Am I clear? So querying relational data is nothing but whatever tables you are taking, how do you convert it into tables and write queries? Okay, so మనకి ఏదైతే ఇక్కడ చూపించామో దాని రిలేషన్ దాని కరెస్పాండింగ్ కాలమ్స్ కింద రాసుకుంటే ఇట్లా ఉంటుంది. Okay, so this is just an example, nothing to cover in this. And here the representation tells that for each and every table, whatever underlined is what? Underlined is what, ma? Underline means what?
Primary key.
Primary key, right? And when this arrow indicates what? Department ID, department ID.
Child's, ma'am.
Foreign key.
Foreign key, right? Foreign key primary key relation provided between student and department. Foreign key primary key relation provided between department and professor, and also department and course. Okay, so are you understanding how you can relate the tables from more than 2 or 3 tables? You can link the tables by using primary key and foreign key relationship. But whenever you are trying to link 2 different tables, you should see that at least it should have a common key field, common column. Say for example, department ID is common with course, professor, department and student. Am I clear? Are you understanding, guys? Similarly, if you take enrollment, teaching and prerequisite, so here what is the common column? Course ID. Course ID is the common field which is used to relate between the tables course, enrollment, teaching and prerequisite. Clear, ma? Students, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is talking about the primary key and the foreign key relationship between the tables. Okay. So the next topic is about converting the ER diagram to relational schema, which we'll see in the next class. Okay. So once we complete this, you'll get an idea how whatever ER diagram, how we are representing in tables. Okay. So this concept we'll see in the next class. So any doubts till today? Till this topic?
Ma'am, can you once again explain the table constraint, ma'am?
Table level constraint.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see here, Amma. So when I specify a constraint name soon after the column, this is the column, you know, right? Column, and how we'll give column with the data type, right? What is the syntax of create table? Create table, table name, column 1, data type, and then constraint. Okay, so this is the syntax. ఎలా ఇస్తున్నాం? కాలమ్ ఇస్తున్నాం. ఎంప్లాయీ ఐడి, డేటా టైప్ ఇస్ క్యారెక్టర్, కన్స్ట్రెయింట్ ఇస్ నాట్ నల్. So when you specify the constraint beside the column, it is called as column level constraint. Means you are specifying at column level, right? But when you specify the constraint at the end of the table, ఇక్కడ చూడండి, primary key of employee ID. This is called as table level constraint. Are you understanding, amma? Column వెంటనే మీరు constraint ఇస్తే దాన్ని column level constraint అంటారు. అదే ఎండింగ్ లో ఇచ్చి primary key of a specified column అని చెప్తే దాన్ని table level constraint అంటారు. You can give in this way or you can give in this way. Both will work. And whatever the specifications for the constraint will remain the same. Nothing will change. Only there are two types to declare the constraint. One is at the column level and the other one is at the table level. Am I clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So any other doubts, ma? Girls and boys, any other doubts?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
will you upload this second module?
Yeah, I will do it, ma. I'll upload it. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So if you don't have any other doubts, I'm ending the session. Thank you, guys. We'll discuss about the logical database design, that is converting the ER diagrams to relational model, in the next class. Okay? Thank you all.